purpose of this talk is to discuss escapism in anime and manga. Comics and cartoons from the West and America are okay in our society. Anime and manga are viewed as controversial for its graphic, sometimes, content. Manga are just comics of Japan that are, well, just like any comic. But there's several differences in between the Western comics and manga from Japan. One of the major things is the direction we read from it. You read it from right to left instead of left to right. As you can also see, it's in black and white. The only color that you can find in a manga is usually on the cover art, as shown here, or the author or the writer, artist, will put in color in a specific scene to show the importance of that storyline. Anime just means animation or animated. It's just like any regular cartoon from, that you can find anywhere in the world. The only difference is that the process is usually different. In manga, it is that specific artist or writer's style. They're usually the same person. When they're making it into an anime, the people who animate it have to worry about the art style of that specific author, which they have to copy, which is very hard. And motion, voice acting, all the other stuff. Now, when you're going to this lifestyle of escapism in anime and manga, and I do call it lifestyle because the community that's backed from it, that's watching anime, reading the manga, and all the other stuff, there's a certain word that you will come across on the internet when you're discussing these. It's called weeb. The word weeb used to be a derogatory term. It meant non-Japanese people were trying to act Japanese, speak Japanese, and it was just a very negative thing. But the community decided to embrace it and change the meaning of it. And they turned it from this negative term into an umbrella term that encompasses everyone who reads manga, watches anime, and yes, there are still those who do fit that bill, but then there's the majority of us who I just like reading, this manga, or I like watching that anime. And in this part of the world, the most you might get is someone who has a, anime t-shirt, like I do. The escapism that we get from it is, and escapism itself in this term means that you are looking to escape the boring reality or the unpleasant reality that you are living. You go and search for entertainment, imagination, and to find a sense of fantasy that you don't find here. And anime and manga are specifically written for that purpose. And the content of manga and anime, it's not just focused on children. No, and that's one of the main things that people think, oh, it's for children. No, it's for children and adults. The process of anime and manga are very different in today's making comics. In America and like Hollywood, where DC and Marvel have their artists write or create the comic, you have one guy for editing, you have one guy for shading, you have one guy for color, sketching, and a dozen other things. And they keep the style the same way. White pages, the white blanks in between. And you have a group of writers. It's not just one guy anymore, it's not one artist anymore. It's different in Japan. In Japan, they do it with pen and ink. It's one artist, and sometimes the artist will also be the writer. So it's almost 1 to 2 people, and even if they expand a little by popularity, it's only a small knit group of people who do that style of writing and drawing. And there's another part of it that is not well known. In America, comics are from DC and Marvel, they come out every week. But in Japan, you have to wait a month for the new release because it's all done by hand. Now, they do sometimes use electronic style when you're doing it, but they do like using pen to paper. That's just how it is. There's not a lot of difference between the fans of the community. They have comic book conventions called Comic-Cons, where you just go and enjoy the community. Even though that a lot of people think that this or that is negative about anime and manga, the feeling me and my friends get from it, from the artwork, from the storyline, from every bit of it, has given us a sense of fulfillment out of the shit-filled lives we have. And, you know, one of the most well-known manga, or anime that most people know, is the Dragon Ball series. It started in 1984 as a manga, and just 2 years later, 1986, it turned into an anime. And it has still been producing and has still been made. It's just that you know the king. And to wrap up this video, I would like to recommend some anime and or manga that me and my friends who are in the background are going to suggest. So Alex, what's your recommendation?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Landon, what's your recommendation?
I'm gonna say like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Hey Tyler, what's your recommendation?
Cowboy Bebop.
Roll credits.